Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Today was an even better day. Brad Garlinghouse, that dude right there telling you the listen. I know we broke this thing late last night or late evening last night about the case being dismissed. Our guy from the Crypto Seas fam, Mr. XRP All In, shared it with us during the live stream. Listen, this is a brutal L. This is a brutal L for the SEC, Gary Gensler's SEC. It's not a great look, fam. It's not a great look. It's embarrassing. We're talking about tail between the legs type stuff. This is not good. Not a great look. We got some XRP haters talking about now the SEC can appeal even faster. Oh my God. What are they talking about? It's still not going on with the case. It's still not having the bravado, having the courage to share your case, to make your argument. No, they decided we don't have an argument to make. We're out, baby. No more embarrassing L's, but they took it anyway. The L is still magnanimous. It's still extraordinary. The SEC body blows. They went down for the count, baby. Ripple just haymakered them to freaking to death. What the world? Listen, the market responded a little bit. I saw Bitcoin over 30,000 last night. It's very, very interesting. We got some of the attorneys from the XRP community chiming in. Where's John Reed Stark? Where is John Reed Stark? Nowhere to be found. I don't see any posts from that dude. Where's your post trying to what is it? Trying to cover up the SEC, trying to figure out a way to make them look good. Where is it, John? Mr. Stark, where is it? Where's that 10-page post that you normally put out? Don't see it. Anyhow, don't see it. Wow, that's just so great. So many things to go over. I'm going to do it real brief. Me and Miss Crypto Seas, we're trying to recover from these last 3 days. Family was in town. Yeah, late night, every single night. It's not our style. We're generally in bed early. You know, get the book in at night, get the affirmations in at night, get the meditation in at night. We're in bed early. Family was in town. Oh no, they weren't having it. Oh my goodness. So we're recovering from that. But let's get into this stuff here. We got Bill Morgan, Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Alderati. We got freaking Chris Larsen went to X this morning and shared some stuff. We're going to share that with you guys as well. So listen, guys, enough of the ranting. This is the XRP Ripple Daily News, your XRP Ripple Daily News. And around 0 to 10 minutes, let's get into it. Brad Garlinghouse today says, today was an even better day. Ripple 3, SEC, nada, 0, nilch, squatch, zilch, squatch, nothing. Ripple 3, SEC, 0. Oh, I love it. And he says, in all seriousness, Brad goes on to say, in all seriousness, Chris and I, in a case involving no claims of fraud or misrepresentations, were targeted by the SEC in a ruthless attempt to personally ruin us and the company. People they're missing it. This is the United States government doing this. Never has this been personal cases brought like that against the CEOs by U.S. government. Never. So to personally ruin us and the company, so many have worked hard to build for over a decade. The SEC repeatedly kept its eye off the ball while secretly meeting with the likes of Sam Bankman-Fried, failing again and again to protect United States consumers and businesses. How many millions of taxpayer dollars were wasted over this case? Feels good to finally be vindicated. Brad was responding to Stuart Alderati's tweet. Stu Alderati says, and holds no punches. Stu, that's that New York thing. Holds no punches. Stu Alderati says the SEC made a serious mistake going after Brad and Chris personally, and now they've capitulated, dismissing all charges against our executives. This is not a settlement. This is a surrender by the SEC. A surrender, baby. Rand Nooner can't seem to figure out why is everybody celebrating a surrender of epic proportions. What happened there? Why did that do that? The world. There it is. Bill Morgan says 3-0 is not an exaggeration. In December 2020, the SEC filed a case against Ripple. Brad and Chris against Ripple, Brad and Chris seeking disgorgement of over $2 billion. You understand that? We all forgot about that. They wanted disgorgement in the terms of $2 billion. $2 billion. The venomous attack, the angst at such a thing is a startup company, a startup fintech company. $2 billion in disgorgement is what they wanted. The SEC claimed every sale of XRP Ripple made for 8 years anywhere in the world was a security. You got to understand that. Anywhere in the world, every single sale that the company Ripple made. It seemed to argue at times that the token itself was or represented a security. It sought an injunction to stop any future sales of XRP by Ripple. If it had succeeded, it would have ruined Ripple and deeply adversely affected the livelihood and lives of Brad and Chris. It would have done this even though there was no allegation of fraud against Ripple. People just can't wrap their brains around no allegations of fraud by Ripple or Brad or Chris. None. And no evidence of investor harm. No evidence at all of investor harm. It took every point it could in interlocutory battles, conducted every review it could of decisions it did not like, including seeking an interlocutory appeal. It lost most of the key interlocutory battles that it cared about and which mattered. It did everything available to delay the matter and run up the defendant's legal costs. It was admonished by the courts for its conduct. Again, don't be misled. This wasn't the SEC. This was the U.S. government. Who pulls the strings there for such a move? Why slow down Ripple and not go after Ethereum? You gotta ask yourself that question. The SEC's actions was admonished by the court for its conduct. It lost badly, and it deserved to lose badly despite the success on institutional sales. I sincerely wish the SEC all the worst in the penalties phase of this litigation. Mr. Nooner, Rand Nooner of Crypto Banter, doesn't seem to understand that this remedies phase, they're not going to go sit down, have a cup of coffee and get it done over lunch or over a brunch or over a meal. Dude, Mr. Nooner, Rand Nooner, Crypto Banter, this is going to take a minute for this remedies thing to get done. It lost badly and it deserves to lose badly despite the success on institutional sales. I sincerely wish the SEC all the worst in the penalties phase of this litigation, says Bill Morgan, and that the court gives them the smallest penalties possible. Heavy right there. Well said, Mr. Morgan. Well said. Here's what Chris Larsen had to say in reference to Stu Alderati's tweet. This is Chris Larsen. The last 3 years, we've seen a rogue administrative state that needs to be held accountable for its actions. not just an investigation into the conflicts of interest that led to these baseless claims, but how the U.S. actively demolished its global standing as the home for innovation, with thousands of jobs moving overseas. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's good stuff right there. Good stuff right there from Chris Larsen. Enough is enough. Eleanor Terrett had this to say. So what are the next step in the Ripple case? I don't know if I want to cover that yet. Let me see if I want to cover some other stuff yet. Fred Rispoli had this to say about this dismissal. Dismissal against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen is an epic, he has hashtag, epic fail by the SEC. Easily one of the top 5 fails in its litigation history. Rand Nooner, crypto banner, can't seem to understand why everybody is celebrating. We're celebrating, Rand, is because the judicial system, lawyers, attorneys on either side, courtrooms, courthouses, judges, appellate courts, Supreme Court, all now know that the United States government's SEC division of the United States government has lacked and has no faithful allegiance to the law. They have shown themselves to be derelict in their duties in representing and protecting U.S. customers, U.S. investors. And every single court around the freaking country and perhaps the world will know and understand this. This is the burden that the SEC has moving forward. Prove to us, will say the judge and any jury, that do not act and respond in a manner that is in derelict and no faithful allegiance to the law. Prove to us that that's where you're not coming from, because this is what you've proven thus far. Easily one of the top 5 fails in its litigation history, absolutely tail between the legs capitulation by attorney Jorge Tenrero. I wish he had an X account, says Fred Rispoli, so we could all remind him of his enormous failure. Brutal. Epic. Here's Rand. Why are crypto celebrating the SEC backing out of the Ripple case? All it means is that now the SEC can appeal a case sooner. Previously, they had to wait until the end of the case, but now they dropped it. They can appeal immediately. Be smart. Like one of the dumbest things ever said. What are you talking about, bro? Fred Rispoli says, if by immediately you mean 6 to 9 months earlier than before the SEC dropped the charges, so an appeal concluding in September 25 rather than 26, and yes, you are correct. If by immediately. That mediation, that remedies phase, it's going to take forever. And the SEC might end up taking an L in that, and that they may want some big check and probably won't get that either. They might get pennies on their dollar. I said, this is completely incorrect. Pay attention to the attorneys who are following this case. Later, this was an epic fail by the SEC. That's why we celebrate. Stop thinking about the SEC. This is about the U.S. governments and its overreach. Period. Full stop, Rand. What in the world? XRP Crow at status reminds Pompliano. He says, good morning, Pomp. Remember Papiano, the BTC Maxi? He said, good morning to everyone. I expect the people who thought they could sell unregistered securities and get away with it. And remember, he said that in December of 2020. Some of you don't realize it, but yep, we were here. We remember, Pomp. You ain't getting away with it that easy. John Deaton has it. I'm going to end on this one because I think this is really, really good. Really, really good. John Deaton says this: the SEC didn't dismiss because it's the right thing to do. The enforcement lawyers recommended dismissal because their bullying and intimidation tactics backfired. This, again, Rand Nooner, is coming from an attorney, federal prosecutor. Stop relying on Crypto X Rand for your ability to wrap your brain around something. Turn to the people who are in the know, for crying out loud. The enforcement lawyers recommended dismissal because their bullying and intimidation tactics backfired. Simply put, they were going to be outclassed and embarrassed in the courtroom. Simply put, in parentheses he has, just like the Hinman email hearing, where later the judge called them hypocrites. Rand, a federal judge called the United States government hypocrites and said they lacked faithful allegiance to the law. Rand. Also, Hinman was going to be called as a witness by Brad Garlinghouse, lawyer. No doubt about that. Remember, Judge Torres ruled the Hinman emails were the most relevant for impeachment purposes on cross-examination. SEC lawyers, especially the lead lawyer in this case, only like it when trials are totally stacked against the defendant. With the chances of a defense victory slim to none, in the end, they did what most bullies do when you step up to fight back. They back down. This was easy to see coming. This was easy to see coming. And this is why we said this from the beginning. There was no way in heck the SEC was going to take a chance on having those Hinman emails and or any kind of freaking before a judge testifying. There was no chance of that happening. They ain't going to put up, no. They weren't going to put up with that. There's no way they were going to take a chance and gamble on that. Gary Gensler took the L. He took the L. He can probably forget about any other position in the freaking executive office, in my opinion. Shout out to John Deaton. We appreciate you, bro. I'm looking forward to having you on the channel, my guy. Looking forward to having you on the channel for sure. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to end this video. This has been your XRP Ripple Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope that it has been of value to you. If it has, do me a favor, hit that like button. And if you've been hanging out, watching the Crypto Siege and haven't subscribed to the channel, please, if you enjoyed the hangout, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this video like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. That old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. Ha ha! I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.